Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, or I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving, or had a happy Thanksgiving. I don't know, that's the intro. I got nothing else. I'm not sponsored by anything, so yeah, this weapon just breaks the game entirely. This is the venomous fang, the only claw with innate poison. However, it's deadly poison, not regular poison. So it's far stronger but lasts for less time. Since it attacks really fast, you can obviously use the multi-hit talismans, the Thorny Crack tier. But also something underrated about this weapon, its jumping attacks are amazing. If you guys are wondering, its jumping attacks, whether heavy or light, will do 2 attacks. Which means the damage can go insanely high if you already have them procced with poison or bleed, because of the poison and bleed buffs. So yeah, that is just undeniably stupid, and not to mention gives you a good stance option, because this is the best stance breaking potential the claws have. Now granted, with claws, you're not really going to be stance breaking a lot, but it's nice to have the idea that you will be able to stance break with jumping attacks. And also this weapon can obviously be infused, so put on Cragblade, and yeah, you got one of the most broken weapons in the entire game. It trivializes the entirety of the game, except for bosses that are gimmicky and bosses that have really bad hurt boxes. However, against bosses like, for say, Bale or Mater, they're going to be destroyed. Right here, Mater's whole entire health bar appeared. That's just insane, especially with a claw, which isn't supposed to be getting high damage, but with these buffs, it gets so high damage. Oh yeah, and this isn't even the max I can do. I could have amped it with Howl of Shibiri, Golden Vow, that weird blood buff, I forgot the name of it. However, I did have the Poisonous Hand, which buffed it by 7.5% more. Even against bosses that can't be procced or rarely procced, like Melania and Elden Beast, the damage was still insanely high. Now, there are some obvious problems with the claws, like if you're going for a guard counter build, they will never work. Their charge attacks aren't necessarily the best. However, here's the thing. With claws already having low stance damage, it's not something like the flail that gets high stance damage, but the worst charge attack in the entire game. You're not really going to be using the charge attack anyway for this weapon. You're either going to be R1 spamming or using jumping attacks. That's really what you should do with these claws. Oh yeah, did I mention that this claw gets pierce damage? Yep, it gets pierce damage. So you can use the Spear Talisman to amp it by 15%. Why does this thing have pierce damage? The slash damage would have been enough, but now it's getting pierce damage? That's just broken. So yeah, this is blatantly just the best poison weapon in the entire game, and it's not really that close. The only weapon that comes close is the Poison Hand, and that's outclassed by some things. This is not. Even though that there might be some better claws, the claws are different enough to the point where I wouldn't necessarily consider it outclassed by those. Also, obviously, since you're attacking really fast, it's going to have great synergy with the multi-hit talismans. Now, from my knowledge personally, it doesn't get amped by that one armor set, but at the same time, I've never gotten that armor set any time in any Elden Ring playthrough, so I'm not totally sure. It could possibly amp it, but I'm not sure. It's also weird that you just can't put blood tax on this thing. Like, I get it, it's a shorter weapon, but you can put impaling thrust on it, so why can't you add blood tax? Now, I get it that the most broken build with blood tax is either with the great katanas or the sword lance. I get that, but at the same time, come on, it could have been cool. The worst part about the weapon, though, is honestly its range. It's the shortest of the claws, and if you don't like being always up on the boss's face, then you won't really benefit from using this. Now, I get it, some bosses have stanky hurt boxes like Godfrey and Consort Radon, but that's more of a boss problem than a weapon problem. If you are willing to be all in the boss's face, though, you will eventually get used to these weapons and you'll destroy the game with them. Here is the level and the talismans I used. Sadly, I did have to kill Millicent, but if you just want to wait till the tree and then just get the Rotten Sword insignia, that's fine, but at the same time, I just really didn't want to fight that putrid avatar, so I just passed on that and killed Millicent. I almost forgot, the running attacks for this weapon are also insanely good as well because they attack simultaneously and not at the same time, which means you can also amp it with Lady Letta's armor, and you can also proc the multi-hit talismans really quickly. So yeah, the running attacks are also really amazing. Here's the level, the talismans, and the armor I used for this run. Yeah, I killed Millicent, but you can honestly wait for the Rotten Sword insignia. At the same time, I wouldn't suggest it though, because the tree spirit that you have to kill is so annoying, and I really didn't want to deal with it this run, so yeah, I just decided I'm going to kill Millicent. That's the video. I hope you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving, or had an amazing Thanksgiving, or having an amazing Thanksgiving. I'm probably going to do a challenge run for my next video. See you guys next time. Like, subscribe, and comment down below what type of content or what type of video I should make next.